Well, another week of the college football season is upon us. Nick Kelly, Simone Eli joining you for this week's edition of Alabama's Head to Head. It's the third Saturday in October, and that means only one thing when it comes to the SEC. It's Tennessee Hate Week, right, Nick? Listen, man, it's that burnt orange, right? Everyone's excited for this one, and man, stakes are as high as ever for both teams.
Yeah, it's another big game in this matchup of late. The last couple of years, there have been some big games in it. Some losses for Alabama in Knoxville. Now, Tennessee hasn't been able to get Alabama in Tuscaloosa since 2003. So they're going to be looking to break that streak. But there's been some really fun, really big games. And I think this will be another one of them.
Yeah, no question about that. Alabama and Tennessee both on a really good trajectory. Obviously, Alabama undefeated in the SEC. We know that it wasn't that long ago that Tennessee fell in that wild overtime game to Georgia. When you look at these two programs right now, Nick, of course, let's just talk about the Tide first. Alabama, we didn't know what they would be week one. I think there's a lot of concerns, a lot of calls for coaches' heads and this, that, and the other. And now it's like, oh, okay, wait, I really don't want to say all of that because people are kind of like, hey, getting their apology letters written and sent to Tuscaloosa. How good are you feeling right now if you're Alabama to pull out some gutsy wins, especially on the road, and to do it against teams that are top caliber teams? I mean, they're battle tested at this point.
I think you're feeling great. And the reason why is you haven't played your best football. You've not played
Yep.
the level of ball that I think Alabama is capable of, and they feel the same way.
Yep.
And yet you're still winning these tough SEC games. I think people overlook Vanderbilt, Missouri labels, like those aren't those blue blood brands, names, things like that. But those are two good football teams. I'm not saying they're both going to be national championship contenders, but they are good football teams. They are teams that could have easily won those games, can beat probably any team in the SEC right now. So, yeah, you take those wins and you move on. You realize you've got some grit, some resilience, and you try to fix some things so that you are playing your best football. So I think Alabama's in a great spot. It doesn't mean they're going to win every single game, but I just think that Alabama is not even close to its ceiling, and that's a really nice spot to be in the middle of October.
Yeah, fair points, Nick. No question about that. When you look at the last few games, I guess if there is one thing to maybe point to or something that is a question mark, part of what it is in coaching, of course, especially in the SEC to be successful, is to make second half adjustments. So when you think about the caliber coaches that Alabama is up against, they're literally their jobs to slow down Alabama in the second half. So not like I'm trying to make this like some big thing if the Tide's not scoring just a boatload of points in the second half. However, you would like to see, 4 quarters of football, right? I sound like Nick Saban right now. And, of course, that means I sound like Ty Simpson because they're pretty much the same person at this point. But, I mean, you do wonder, like, hey, is there not a drop off, but is there anything that they want to close out games in such a way where maybe that they're not having a battle down to the stretch, take the stress off a little bit? Of course, everyone wants that. And then you're playing some high caliber teams too.
Yeah, it comes down to finishing drives, really. I mean, we've seen Alabama move the ball and not capitalize, whether it's a missed field goal or a third down they don't convert in the red zone or something like that. I think that's been something that's gotten in their way a little bit. But I do think that the Crimson Tide is capable of finishing those drives. I mean, Ty Simpson, we saw what they did on that drive against Missouri to essentially score the game-winning touchdown where you had Daniel Hill on fourth down in the end zone for that touchdown. You also had that huge pass to Lazier Brooks on fourth down. So the finishing ability is there. It's just not always there. And I think that is the key to, it's not just, okay, score points in the second half. It's, okay, why aren't they scoring points at times in the second half? And to me, it comes down to making sure you're finishing drives and then you put teams away because Alabama's been in a good spot. It's just that, frankly, and part of that falls on the defense, not just the offense, but they could have put Missouri away a lot earlier than they did. But the foot maybe came off the gas a little bit. Missouri made adjustments, and Alabama found themselves in a really tough game. So I think it's there. It's just making sure that they're paying attention to the little things. That's a cliche, but it's true. And yeah, finding ways to finish those drives.
From a perspective of just covering this team day in and day out, what is kind of the messaging, the vibe that we're getting from Kalen DeBoer and from guys this week as they, now we're a few games into the SEC slate. Obviously, it could be any given Saturday with anybody, but do you feel like there's a kind of a confidence level of like, hey, we certainly control our own destiny at this point?
Yeah, they're in a rhythm. You can really feel that. It's not that they're overlooking any opponent. It's not that they're underlooking any opponent. I mean, I think that there is just a matter of okay, next game, another ranked game, another tough team to play. Just keep going.
Yeah.
And the mindset that Kalen DeBoer has talked about this week, other weeks, is shut up, show up, and do the work. That's simple. And if you
Listen.
can do that, it's going to take care of most things. And it seems like Alabama's doing that.
Mhm.
That's a nice phrase for a T-shirt or a classroom poster, but it seems to be working. And I think Alabama is on a roll, and doesn't mean they're going to win every single game, because sometimes balls don't bounce the way you want them to. But I don't sense that this is an Alabama team that's overlooking teams like they did last season.
Yeah. When we were 3 weeks into the year and Tennessee lost to Georgia, it was really Tennessee's game down in the stretch. And I think Kirby Smart even said, we didn't deserve to win that game, just kind of rolled our way. Obviously, the missed field goal attempt there in Rocky Top, but it was a close loss there in overtime. But then Tennessee beats UAB, who just fired their coach, obviously. They go on the road. They beat Mississippi State in overtime. And this is not like the Mississippi State of, 5 years ago. This is nothing is actually, this is not college football of 5 years ago. Let's put it like that. And then they beat an Arkansas team that they don't blow out, but that's a whole nother situation over there in Fayetteville, which we could go on and pick apart every single team. But is this Tennessee team? Is it maybe they're ranked at 12th in the country, 11th in the country? Are they not really the Tennessee that we thought that they could be, given the fact that Josh Heupel and just Joey Aguilar, what they were able to do offensively together? Or do you think that they're doing this as maybe a big opportunity to prove that they can be an elite SEC caliber team with only one loss on the year to Georgia?
We still don't know what Tennessee is yet. And I say that because their schedule is the third easiest, or so far it's been the third easiest in the SEC. The only two teams that have had easier schedules are Missouri and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So Tennessee hasn't really beaten any ranked teams yet. And they've only played one, I believe, in Georgia. So they really haven't been that battle tested yet. Does not mean that they aren't good. I think Missouri,
Sure.
we saw last week that, yeah, Missouri hadn't really played anyone, but they're still a good team. I think Tennessee's a good team. I have no doubt. But how good, we'll see. Once we start to see the Vols play some tougher teams on a week in, week out basis, might have a better sense, because I think the first half of that schedule wasn't the toughest. So we'll see.
Sure.
It's kind of a wait and see process with Tennessee, but I still expect, some of the things they've done translate no matter who they're playing. So I still think they're a pretty good team. We'll just kind of see how good moving forward.
Yeah, all fair points, Nick. If you had to just give, maybe one or two really keys to Alabama getting this done there at home with the big opportunity at Bryant Denny Stadium, what would you say is kind of the pinpoint of what you want to see from either side of the ball out of this Crimson Tide program?
To me, it's continue winning the time of possession battle for Alabama. They've done it the last couple of weeks, and it's paid dividends. It's so key in this game because Tennessee is the most lopsided team in the SEC. Tennessee's offense is ranked number 1 in points per game in the SEC. Its defense is ranked last. So this is a really good offense, not a good defense. So you want to keep the ball away from that offense and take advantage of the weakness, which is their defense. So if you're Alabama, it's kind of keep doing what you've been doing and win that time of possession battle. Because if Tennessee doesn't have the ball, they're going to have a really tough time winning the game. And that might sound very rudimentary.
Hard to win if your quarterback's on the bench. There's no question about that. It's a 7.5-point spread as of this recording. Nick, if you had to kind of put a guess on this one, who are you taking and what do you like?
I like Alabama at home. I think Kalen DeBoer at home with that black hoodie of death.
I was about to say, black hoodie of death. You and a couple others created that thing. I love it.
Good combination there at home at Bryant Denny. So it's worked. They do well at home. And Alabama has been battle tested. And again, I don't know that Tennessee has been enough. So I like Tennessee, or I should say I like Alabama at home against Tennessee. I like Tennessee as a team. I think they're a good team, better than I thought coming into the year, but I just don't think they get this one done against Alabama at home. So give me Alabama.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. I wouldn't be surprised if, it was kind of maybe, tit for tat a little bit early on, like you might see some scoring both ways. But I think at the end of the day that this, both sides of the ball, certainly in a different position than what we thought 6 weeks ago with the Alabama program. And I do feel like they're maybe just hitting their stride when it comes to what it can look like here in a month or so when we really get serious with, SEC championship game implications and then, get into that playoff and all of that. So it'll be right around the corner because it's third Saturday in October. It's Halloween, which of course we know is Nick Saban's birthday. That was always fun times to seeing him up there and wish happy birthday, which he never really wanted to play ball with. And then getting ready for the back half of the year before we kick things off into December and all that. So, Nick Kelly, appreciate your time, man. Looking forward to it, and continue on with your great coverage.
Thanks, Simone.
All right, good stuff, guys. This has been Head to Head. Looking forward to that big one in T-Town on Saturday. We'll see you next week.
Brought to you by Alabama Beef Farmers and Ranchers.